let's get started. Saurabh, over to you.
Thanks, Swapna. Can you give me the sharing screen? I am not able to share my.
Yep. All right. So, yes, you are a host now. Go ahead.
Sure. Thanks, Swapna. So, good morning, good evening, everybody. Saurabh here. And first of all, yeah, sorry for the inconvenience caused due to this technical glitches. Let's start with the Gitops. So, before I start, let me explain or just be in our legacy shoes and try to understand that what are those pain points that we have faced when we started as a DevOps guys, right? So the first thing that we faced is having trouble in operations, managing operations, so how the infrastructures are there, and then restarting the services, port conflicts, and blah blah blah. And then later on, we started with shell scripts trying to fix those stuffs, and then later Puppet came and then Chef came so that we are able to manage the desired state of the infrastructure. And it helped us a lot for building the infrastructure that we need for the application. But then when we moved to cloud native, the Chef and Puppet actually struggled a bit since those were not that much declarative that we wanted to do. So with that note, let me tell you about a bit about the uh, how this the GitOps works. So the GitOps is actually a single source of truth in the Git. So what happens is everything that we say is stored in the Git. Everything of the desired state of the infrastructure, and anything that we wanted to change in the infrastructure, that will be done by the Git commit. Any manual changes that we are doing, a controller will prevent that manual changes, and then we'll not able to do the manual changes. The fourth thing that is very very important, and I think Chef and Puppet has done a lot much work on this, and then other Ansible, Terraform, and those is like a managing secrets and configuration. So they have their own way to manage, but none of the infrastructure as a code tool is able to manage at one place, and that we can make as a single source of truth. So when I say GitHub as a single source of truth, or Git is being a single source of truth, we should have the configuration and secrets also, right, on the Git itself. But the problem is with the infrastructure code tools that we can't manage secrets and configuration on the GitHub. So these are the things that GitOps does for you, and then the and that's why the I can say that continuous delivery or in the cloud native tools in the Kubernetes using Git, so we can achieve that. So the abstract is that Git being only source of truth for application and infrastructure. It is nothing else. So when we talk about more about I infrastructure code and then GitOps, like I told you, uh, there's a there's a saying from Alexis Richardson. He is a CEO of Webhooks, so he actually implemented the GitOps for the first time. They actually promoted GitOps a lot. So he's saying that GitOps is like an infrastructure code as microservices are for SOA and XP to Agile, right? So like the SOA evolved to microservices and XP evolved to Agile. Similarly, the infrastructure code as a, evolved as a declarative code with um, with cloud native, or you can say the Kubernetes in and being single source of truth in Git. So the summary is if you need an immutable infrastructure and you wanted to make a single place where if your everything is maintained and maybe Git, then it's a GitOps. So in infrastructure code, like I told earlier, um, what happens is we don't know what is the desired state. Take an example of Chef. So Chef has a Chef server. Also, you can maintain those desired state, as well as you can maintain your cookbooks on the GitHub, and then uh, and and you have to maintain a lot many places, right? So similarly with the Puppet. But in the GitOps, it's more like we can have a single source of truth at GitHub, and it lowers the cost also. So you no need to maintain multiple self-services IT systems, and it will reduce the overhead of multiple repo management and doing your CI/CD, writing your cookbooks and those stuff. So it's pretty much declarative infrastructure as a code. Uh, Moving forward for that. Let me talk more about Argo. So Argo gives you, before I move to Argo, Swapna, can you see in the comments, do you have any questions so that I can take it?
Yep. So I'll just take a look on that. So just a moment. So let me see if you have any comments on that. Mm, okay. So meanwhile, why don't you go ahead and a little bit give a pros and cons, and also whatever we are having at the market at the moment, what are the CI or the CD, how exactly is going to cover. So meanwhile, I'll just grab those if you have any questions.
Sure, Sapna. So yeah, it's a good question from you also. So GitOps is not new now. There are multiple uh, tools that is in the market. However, it's more like a tool independent thing. So if you have a declarative script where you can manage your cloud native infrastructure, you have pretty much declarative YAML files, then I think tool is not needed. But what Argo or the Flux CD does is able to give you some of the luxury to not maintain those scripts. So as GitHub says, right, that no script and do not do any scripting and ship it fast, right? So it's more about shipping rather than scripting. So uh, yeah, so great questions, Swapna, but if I say like in the market, what are the tools are coming up every other day? I'm aware about Argo and Flux. However, yeah, lot many tools may come in the future. In fact, even without the
Mhm.
tool, it's possible. But yeah, it's give you a bit, I can say, freedom to manage your infrastructure and actually visualize your infrastructure rather than managing. So manage can be done using your YAML, declarative YAML, and you have customized or JSON-mate or Helm and those kind of thing. But it gives you a nice visualization to see those applications. So yeah,
Okay.
Argo is one
So
of them.
basically, yeah. So basically, the beautification of this is, I'll just say, you do not have to manage anything, a separate pipeline or something. We can add the everything on that YML, how it will be looks like, the complete infrastructure, complete the Kubernetes cluster. So we just have to worry about our deployment, where I'll be only testing, or the testers or the devs only worried about their application, how exactly it looks like, is there any failures or something, so that they can go ahead and test on that particular part. And so that we can, or being a release engineer or being a DevOps guy, he can manage the complete infrastructure. Here the benefit what you are seeing is completely the deployment, the easy and the beautiful of the YML, right?
Exactly, yeah. So completely declarative, and then you have a view of the declaration also. So how the your secrets are managed, how your I may say your config maps are managed, how your replica sets are there, or if you have some help charts, then how your help charts are managed. And so yeah, it's give you a nice view as well as nice management. So I will show you in demo piece when we go. I will do some destructive way that we will delete the namespace completely, or we may
Yep.
delete some ports, and we'll see that how does the Argo behaves on those destructions. So yeah,
Okay.
we can do
And
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and one more thing, we have something, because people are more interested on the CD, how fast you guys are deploying, how immutable your infrastructure is. So this Argo CD also taking that one as well, because you also mentioned that, we can also, suppose say destructive testing, those kind of scenarios.
Oh yeah, it's very very fast. I'll show you. So a slight change in your any declarative pipeline, either it's a config map or secrets or whatever. It's hardly take a second to sync that thing, and it will bring your pod up. So yeah, it's very very fast. It's immediately check your infrastructure and then sync it according to a Git. So
Mm-hmm.
when told you right before that Git B is being a single source of truth, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's same. So if some configuration that you are editing manually on your infrastructure using kubectl command and those stuffs, those things will go, and what Argo has or the Git has, the whatever your YAML or description, that Git will only take. So you can't do anything manually. It's single source of truth is Git. So whatever your deploy specs are there in Git, it will take those only, and it will
Okay.
not get you synced. So
So
yeah,
best part, whatever I understood is the single source of truth. It gives Git. You do
yeah,
not have to separately maintain any other, it's like how exactly we do it in the Jenkins. We have a library where we mention Jenkins file, all those things. So everything on the Git, the moment the check-in goes to the master branch, automatically goes to the do the CI and then the CD part. This is what
yeah,
I.
yeah, spot on. You
Awesome, awesome. All right. So I think we are not getting any questions. So yeah, we can proceed with the next steps.
sure. So before going to the demo, I'll just move to the architecture piece. I'll just explain a bit about the architecture, how the architecture is. So here in the before I'm going to architecture here, I'm not going to put in CI since CI generally does only your image tagging, right? And then build your image and image tagging. At the end result, I'm saying, yeah, you can have your test cases, your Sonar Cube, and lot many other things that you can put into your pipeline, but the end result is your the robust image or the best image with the proper tagging goes to the your repo, correct? Your DTR or the ECR or whatever repo or the JFrog repo. So I'm
Right.
just pointing to make this time good uses. We'll build the image manually, we'll push it to the ECR, and then we'll see that how the CD actually works rather than the CI, right? Since we are not
Mhm.
focusing on CI much, we are focusing more on CD part. So that's why
Right.
I eliminated the CI thing like Circle CI or Jenkins or whatever. But we'll show you some flavor of that, how the Argo after the CI happens, then how this whole pipeline goes up. So,
Excellent.
so moving forward, so what happens the moment your image is ready and then you have your deploy specs are defined, uh, it's moved to Git, obviously, and there are two ways, like any CI or any source control tool works, right, or any CD tool works. There are two ways. One is the poll SCM and one is webhook. So the Argo
Hmm.
also works like that. So if you are not putting any webhook, it will have a 3 minutes poll SCM, and every three minutes it will keep on checking the Git specs, the deploy specs, and any changes in that deploy aspects or any commit happens, then if after 3 minutes it will get synced to that infrastructure. If you want to immediate push off your Git and then you wanted to change any configuration and on your infrastructure, we will suggest you to put a webhook on your GitHub or your Bitbucket or GitLab, whatever the CI tool you have, sorry, the your source control tool you have. And then the moment the webhook goes and trigger something on Argo, Argo has three things actually. One is the API, One is the repo services and one is the application controller. So API is based on GPRC and REST both, and it gives you the command CLI also, the Argo CD CLI, which is pretty much robust, and it says you more about how I can get those details, or how I to sync you can do from the command line. So API more works for if I go and talk more about that. So API is
Wow.
actually do the web UI CLI and CI/CD system, and it's like a listener and forwarder of your Gitbook events.
Yeah.
You can invoke also appropriation. So from Argo CD command, you can just do hey sync it, or hey rollback, or hey user define. So all the CLI stuff without, if you don't want to go in UI and you use Argo CD command, Argo CD is like an API server. So it does that. A part of that, you can update your cluster, you can update your password, you can configure your authentication authorization, and lot many things whichever you wanted to do from UI, you can do in the. And the best part of API server is even Argo is completely declarative. Okay, so that's I liked it a lot. So if you have your application definitions also, that in you can write in a YAML. I'll show you that also in demo, and then you just do kubectl apply, and that YAML, what will happen? It will create an app with your all the repo configurations. So we'll show you in that demo. So yeah, so that's the one thing, the API server. Second thing is the repository server. So the repository server is more like a cache of your Git repo, so that you can manifest or keep on checking the poll ACM or webhook. I said that. So it just maintain a local cache on the Argo, so that it can see all the application manifest, and we can see the diff, you can see the live application manifest, you can edit the application manifest, but yeah, it's not a backward, I'm sorry, it's not a backward compatibility. So if you edit any manifest on your Argo, it doesn't mean that you are committing on Git, right? So it will go out of sync, and then when you try to sync it again, your local edited manifest will go. But you can do that. And last but not the least is the application controller, which actually does the all the job. So it detects that if anything is out of sync, or anything has been removed. Suppose you have a replica set of, just take an example that in your deploy spec, suppose replica set is 3, and then you remove it to 1, right? So then you are pruning 2 of the pods, correct? And you are making 1. So those corrective actions actually application controller will take, and it will actually on the infrastructure, it will reduce 2 pods and make it to 1. Or similarly, it can increase that. So that kind of things that application controller does, and basically it manages your
Um,
all the life
Saurabh,
cycle. Yeah,
Saurabh, so sorry to interrupt. The moment when you say application controller, there's API and repository services, these are sitting on the Kubernetes cluster, you mean?
exactly.
Or
And everything is declarative. So if you want to edit these guys, even the Argo CD secrets, you can just go to the Argo CD in wherever you have installed in a cluster. You can go to those specs and edit it by kubectl edit, and you can edit your secrets, you can edit your repo, and much more things. Yeah, so everything
okay.
is on Kubernetes. Yeah.
So basically, Argo CD is again, it is using the API, and again, it is calling to the Kubernetes cluster API server, where exactly in between it calls and creates all complete service discovery, everything.
Exactly. So there are two ways actually. Okay. One
Mhm.
is that, uh, or maybe let me define in such a way that there can be two scenarios, right? So one scenario will be that you have your own Kubernetes cluster where you have installed Argo, and you want to communicate to the other Kubernetes cluster, right? Where your actual application resides. That is the one way. Second one is
Correct.
that the Argo CD is also on the same cluster where your application
Mhm.
resides. Okay,
Hmm.
Argo
Right.
CD will give you the both features. So Again, it's a API server command like Argo CD cluster add, and then when you see Argo CD cluster add, and then you give the other cluster name, it will actually try to communicate and it will add you. Yeah, you have to provide few more details like um, you should have the permission of that cluster, right? So you should configure those secrets or the way that the EKS or GKE works. So the roles should be set when you are running that Argo City cluster ad. But if everything is in place, all the roles or all the access controls are in place, it will just be in a second, it will add your cluster, the external cluster. However,
Okay.
we can recommend and then as a best practices that since your cluster is very huge, right? Whenever you decide your application, so there is not a big deal to have your Argo also on the same cluster. Just create a new namespace like Argo CD and then create install your Argo on the same cluster rather than adding into the different cluster. It's all almost same. The moment it gets installed, then you won't see any change. It behaves exactly same. If we get time, I'll show you that as well. But
Awesome. Awesome.
having said that, yeah, it gives you both scenarios.
Awesome. Yep. Good. I'm good.
Great. Sapna, so can we go to demo, or do you have any people or anything that?
Yeah. So as of now, I have not received any no questions. So no, I think we will get started with our demo.
Awesome. So I have one application that I'm going to create and already push to the GitHub. And then what we'll do is we will try to change some of the configuration and we'll try to disturb the configuration of that application and try to see that how the Argo behaves. Okay. So that's why I'm going to show you the demo. So
Excellent.
let me. So cool. So I am already on my. I think. Give me a moment. So I'm already on my EKS cluster that I have set up for this guy, and then I have Argo CD namespace. So, but if I go to Argo CD name, okay, it's not there since I have deleted it. So I deleted it intentionally so that we can. What we can do is we'll try to create from the scratch the Argo CD. Okay. So let me
Yep.
quickly create the Argo CD. So I have created a namespace Argo CD.
Right. Right.
Awesome. Now let me switch to the Argo CD namespace. I switch to the Argo CD namespace and then I have my put my notes so that it will be quicker. So just one YAML and it will actually install your Argo CD.
Yeah. So could you please give us a little bit of what exactly it is doing? So yeah, it is
Exactly.
doing
So
this
as I
ad.
told you, right, that everything is declarative in Argo CD. So if you see, there are so many, the role are getting created, RBAC roles, then you have a service account getting created,
Yep.
then you have a custom source definitions are getting created, you have a config map, you have a service. So
Yep.
if you see the services, you see that there are text server, metrics, Redis, repo server, server metrics, and server, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
the Redis actually is the main component which stream your application and
Mhm.
does the live the exact streaming of your the application how it's behaving, right? And then
Okay.
your deployment specs are deployment specs, not much talking about it, but it is give you like application controller that I talked about it, and then you have a repo server. So these two things I already told you, right? So the Argo CD
Yep.
server, repo server, and application control. And
Right.
Redis is more like for a streaming deck server. I'm sorry, I'm not much knowing about that, but yeah, these are the deployment applications that does. But a part of that, you can see that it just create the RBAC authorization also. So the best thing with Argo CD is you can have your SSO configured or your authentication authorization with LDAP configured. So those things you can do on UI. But I'm not going to showcase those things in demo. We'll show just on the application perspective, um, uh, so that we can focus on one thing rather than focusing on two. Let's
Right.
focus on the problem statement. Yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah. So our Argo is completed. So if I just do, you can see the replica set is done. Then your Argo
Yep.
CD is done. The
Looks good.
thing is, if you see here, the Argo CD server uh, is created in a cluster IP, right?
Right.
So there are two ways. I can put forward this cluster IP and then access it, or I can change it to the load balancer. So
Load balancer or a node port, or yeah, or
yeah,
you can put
yeah,
the ingress also.
exactly, yeah,
Can
yeah.
depend on
How
it.
to do it
Yeah.
also. So for the time saving and for the robustness, let's convert into this cluster IP into the load balancer so that we can have one ALB since it's a EKS cluster. So this is a command that will change. Actually, it's patch your Argo CD. So kubectl patch service Argo CD server, and then I mistake. I'm just changing to the load balancer. So when I change it to load balancer, what will happen is now if I do kubectl get all, I can get the load balancer. So rather than port forwarding the IPI,
Yeah, load
it will
balancer.
take 2 to 3 minutes to warm up this load balancer as it's an AWS thing. Let's wait for a moment. Maybe I'll try to hit it, but yeah, as I told you, it may take.
Meanwhile, let me see whether someone is getting some questions. Yeah, Hemant is telling that he stole your AWS access and secret keys.
Pretty good. Congrats to you. You can do it, but you can't do anything with that since it's just a temporary key. So it will be deleted after the demo. So yeah,
Yeah.
tell my demo whatever you want to do, you can do it. But yeah, after that you can't.
All
Uh,
right, Hemant, you got your answer. Sorry, your question has been answered by Saurabh. So feel free. All right. Okay. So yeah. So looks like this seems to be completely on the Kubernetes cluster. So first prerequisites would be our Kubernetes cluster. That would be, and a CI. We can go ahead with Circle, or we can go ahead with Jenkins, or whatever the based on the our
yeah, so
recommendation, the
the good thing
standards.
you got it, Swapna. Yeah, so the prerequisite, I'm sorry, I have not explained, but yeah, you should have a cluster running, either it's a GKE or EKS or your minikube, whatever the cluster you wanted to prefer. You should have a Kubernetes cluster setup, and then only on top of it you can install Argo. Since Argo is more like a declarative pipeline for the cloud native solution or the Kubernetes, so Kubernetes is must, right? So cluster should be must. I configure the Kubernetes cluster on the EKS
Uh-huh.
and try to do that. So yeah.
Okay, so it is completely on the AWS side. So you are using AWS, RBAC roles, IAM roles, the EKS, AKS, sorry. Then, on that, you are installing JX. So JX is Jenkins. So where you have managed that one?
Okay. GX, honestly speaking, I am just doing for the context switching or for the namespace.
Uh-huh.
But JX, I will be very happy. We can have another session on that since JX is
Definitely.
like an ocean. Yeah. JX can do
Yeah.
lot much stuff, and JX with Tecton and then Lighthouse
Uh-huh.
actually can achieve the same thing that we are doing in Argo. So JX enables the Lighthouse and then Tecton, and Tecton will take the cloud native CI guy, and the Lighthouse will take the CDN, and it's a beautiful actually. JX is beautiful, but it needs in a legacy way, right? That when we set up a system, initially we need some
Mm,
time. So
mm.
JX actually you need to set up a bit and then you have to do it. But Argo or Flux actually gives you the luxury that you no need to set up anything and then you can go ahead with just descriptive YAML. JX also does that, but yeah, not in the excessive way.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, so JX, good that you have brought it. So I'm just going to show you. So JX has so many things, but what I am doing here is just doing JX CTX to change the context since I have multiple context in my system,
Mhm.
and then I'm just choosing my CTX.
Uh-huh.
Then
Good.
and the biggest pain is right that whenever you run a kubectl command, you have to always put hyphen n hyphen.
Ha, ha, ha. Yeah.
That's not needed with JX. So you just do
Okay.
JXNS and then
Yes. Automatically it will switch. Okay, it will switch. Yes. Awesome.
then you can run your kubectl without a hyphen n command. So
Excellent.
that's the
Excellent.
beauty of it. I think
Yeah.
our
All
warm
right.
will be get warm up and then we got the Argo. So the first time when you log into the Argo, the password will be your pod name.
Okay. Okay.
So let it come up. Give you a moment. Can you hit this, Sapna, with me?
Yes. Yes. Tell me.
I just sent you the.
Okay. 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 So let me check
No,
it out.
no worries, no worries.
Okay. All right. It came. All right. Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, so when you put admin and then you have to password will be
Okay. You have to. Okay. It would be on the
your
pods.
pod name. So this is your password.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Nice. Nice. Then after that, we can go ahead.
You
Uh,
you
this.
can. So you can do. You have to install Argo CD. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Argo CD, and then I think account and update hyphen password if I'm not wrong. But I have not connected, right? So it's saying to first connect to this guy and then do that. So first you have to do
Nice.
CD
Nice.
connect.
Nice.
I think no, I'm not sure about this command. One moment, no. Just
Okay. Context. So,
no, no. Give me a moment. I think I have noted it down. Yeah, Argo City login. So what I'm
okay.
going to do is putting this command. I'll explain you what it actually does. So
So basically, you are getting the service IP and getting that which particular pod it is.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting my this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Then when I'm logging in, then
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Good.
uh, yeah, it should be yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
I have
Okay. Now you can pass on whatever the password you want. Okay.
yeah, and then once it's done, then let me bad news for hackers so that they don't.
Uh, I think Hemant is online. He's listening.
I'm changing the password, guys. So I'm not going to share it with you.
All right, good.
So password is updated now, and uh, Let me log out. Yeah, it automatically logged out since password is changed. And then, yeah. So this is the first view that you'll get it. Now we'll do one thing. We'll show you that the decorative way also how we can do it, and then how we can do it actually on the or through the UI, right? So
Yep.
first thing is that let's create a repo since we need a repo for the GitHub, right? Since we are keep on saying that single source of truth is a Git, so Git is a must. So let me put that my GitHub link. GitHub.
GitHub or Bitbucket?
I moved to GitHub. Yeah, I
Okay.
had a Bitbucket, but then I moved to GitHub. Reason behind it is that Bitbucket webhook has some issues, so I wanted to show the webhook also. So I moved to Bitbucket.
Okay.
Sorry
All
for
right.
Bitbucket.
Good.
So let me sign in. So you can
Okay.
see
Successful.
successfully connected, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then what I have to do, I have to create a new app, right, to have
Uh-huh.
that. So let's make it gitops hyphen demo.
Mm-hmm.
And then project let be default.
Alt sync
Automatic.
automatic.
I will. I'll explain a few things here. Project is something like where you can maintain the scope of your application. So by default, it will take the default one. Sync policy is automatic, means if anything goes out of the sync, you wanted to try it again and again, or you wanted to do manually. So if you want to do automatic, so then any time that you it's go out of sync, the Argo CD will try automatically to sync with the Git. And then you have two options. So when sync policy is checked, the Argo will actually delete those resources which are not defined in Git, right? So they maintain the single source of truth. And then self-heal is something like it will force the exact state that is defined in Git into the cluster when a deviation in the cluster is detected. So something you are manually you are doing, then those things. Uh, Let me check both. Doesn't make any problem. So, and then you have to choose your repository and then the path. So path is your where your deploy specs are there. So if I go to my GitHub, if you see, I have kept it here deploy and this base. So here my deploy specs are there. So the same path I'll mention here.
Okay. So basically, we can programmatically also we can automate it.
I'll
We
show
can
you. I'll
check
show
it
you.
out. Okay. All right. All right.
And then cluster URL. So here I was telling it, right? So what happens is you see this cluster is there. So this is the
Right.
local one, right? This is the local cluster since my
Right.
application and my things are also there. But suppose you wanted to add a new cluster which is outside of it, right? So then you
Mm-hmm.
can go to here or you have a command called argo cd cluster add kind of.
Add.
So you can add
Mm-hmm.
and as I mentioned earlier, the prerequisite is that you should have an access to this cluster. The access control should be in place in your system.
Yep. And also a airbag as well as cluster role binding as well. So no,
Exactly.
it has to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
admin or something
Yeah.
sort. All right. Good.
So similarly, like if you have a EKS cluster, then your STS assume roles should be there with you the proper IAM role. So then only you can. So yeah,
Right. Awesome.
great. Yeah. So where am I? I have done this guy. Give me a moment. So I'm done with my, and then I will put the namespace. If you not give the namespace, then also it's fine. If you have your deploy spec running,
Customized
it will take that.
namespace,
Yeah, it will take
that particular part also, it is going to hit on that namespace. Say we are having dev, QAs, and production.
exactly.
So feature builds will run on this separate namespace. Dev builds will run on a separate namespace. So yeah, got
Awesome.
it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah, yeah. You're right. So and a good point that you bring it out. So just to explain a bit, maybe I may not able to show the demo, but very good point that you told. So then you can create multiple application with the different path, right? Like in customize, you have a base and overlays you can mention your
right,
different namespaces like dev, staging, or the
right.
production. You just give the deploy slash overlay slash prod or deploy slash
Uh,
overlay
uh,
slash staging. What
dev.
will happen?
Okay.
Yeah, it will take that customize and or help whatever, and then it will deploy your
Got it.
application.
So basically, you will have a one single truth, as exactly we are talking about,
Yeah,
and using
that will be fine.
customize or helm,
Exactly.
using customize or helm, we can iterate through those environments and based according to those, because dev, the same password it cannot be used, right?
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So what happens is if you have a dev, int, and prod, and you have same config map or the secrets, the key is same, but the value will be different, right? So you can use the same keys, deploy specs, but you can patch it using your customize or patch it using your helm chart, using helm command, and then your specifications of your deploy specs will be depend on the directory. So deploy slash int or slash staging or slash dev or kind of that, and then each environment will have their own deploy specs. Yeah, and you can patch it.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. Awesome. Yep. Now clear.
Yeah. So now the moment I have done this, you see here there is a called
Mm-hmm.
edit YAML. So the same thing you can get in an YAML also. So yeah, so just copy this guy, and maybe I will do. I still remember my visa days. So when we used to work, you use VI editor a lot. So I'm going to a VI editor. So,
Yeah, VI is being my favorite editor all time. So still I use.
so I'm just saving it, and then what I'll do is hopefully I'm in Argo CD initially. One moment, let me check. Yeah, I'm in Argo CD only. So what I'll do, kubectl apply hyphen f and then Gitops demo. So the moment I do it, what will happen is the application got created in Argo. So if I go here, see the application is created, and the best
Oh,
thing is it's synced
wow.
so within a second. So I got my application created, running my pod. So such a
It is super duper fast.
yeah, yeah, super super fast. So now if I just change my namespace to demo, and then if I do kubectl get all, see the command line taking too much time, but my application is running,
Yeah.
and you see everything is running. Now the beauty is that I
Yep.
told you, right, that will do some destructive thing, right? So let's
Yep.
delete
Yep.
the them namespace from here.
Yeah. Let's
So
do that.
yeah, let's do that. Oh, sorry. You see, the moment you delete it,
Demo,
I
demo
think,
deleted.
yeah, see, it's going one by one since your namespace is not there. Now the
Yep.
moment I'll let's wait for the namespace to get deleted completely since it has a lot many
Mhm.
resources.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But how soon it contacts with your cluster C?
yeah, yeah,
Trying
yeah.
to think multiple times. It's trying to find it out at namespace that. And
Okay,
you can create your namespace. That feature also you can give. I have not given this application. Otherwise, it might have created the namespace and got synced also.
right.
So yeah, it's deleted. Let me refresh this guy. Sorry, a bit, and I think everything will be gone. Yeah, nothing is in sync. Now let's try to create the namespace again. Okay. The moment
All
namespace
right.
got created, just let me abort this thing since it's keep on trying again. Let me terminate it. Oh wow, it was synced.
It's
So yeah,
synced.
it's very very fast actually. Yeah, yeah. The moment I was trying to sync, it's actually done. So
Okay, so
that's the beauty that within
that's
fraction of second your whole infrastructure is ready. And believe me, this is a normal class demo, class application, but it works for the larger infrastructure also. And I'll tell you one more beauty is that if I go
the
for
traffic thing.
the traffic, so how
Wow.
this load balancer is there, it's going to Gitops demo, and then I have this pod that is running here.
Yeah, I think there is a tree structure as well. So, yep. All
Yeah,
right. Yep.
the structure also where this is the stack. You have one config manager, you have a service, you have a deploy, and you have a email ID as a seed secret. I was talking about secret, right? So I'll explain
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
secret,
yeah.
how the cube seal works. So in cube seal, actually, um, the best thing that I am pushing my secrets to Git. The hacker was telling, right? We have a hammer, and then he was telling that, hey, I took. Nobody
Yep.
actually push their secrets to Git, right? But I am pushing the secrets, and it's a challenge from the Vietnamese that you can't decode the secret at all.
Wow.
Only the Kubernetes secrets, the Kubernetes cluster actually decode it. So if you go here, actually the seal secret is getting decoded to secrets and then going to fast. So this seal secret you can push to the Git with your confidence, with the Bitnami confidence, not my confidence, okay? Since Bitnami says that through Q seal you can't decode your secrets on the Git. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of seal secret, and I'll show you the Q seal as well. So you can.
And can you show us the how the apps looks like, how exactly it is being
Yeah.
integrated?
I'm going to look at. So by the time I think we're talking, our most probably this guy has been warmed up. So I'm using a incognito for this guy since I have a plain vanilla HTML file. So if I change something, it will not be having cache. So if you see here, this is the application that got created. It has these three variables that is coming from your config map and your secret, right? So this one is coming from your dev, and then this is coming from your email, and then so on. This is right. Now you can add one more key, like any key that you can say. Then I have to create one new image, and we can showcase there. That is the one use case can be. The other case can be the existing key value will change it in the config map or in the secret, and it will get reflected here. So I'll show you first the existing keys that we can edit it, since in that case we no need to uh, update the image, right? Or no need to build the image since these keys are already in place. So I don't need to change the code. So we'll go here, go to GitHub, go to
Can you do
GitHub.
a GitHub change as we are talking about GitOps? That means single source of truth. So
Yeah, we'll
change
go to
in
GitHub. Before doing that, one more thing. So as I told in the beginning, right? So this sync is happening on the whole SCM. So every 3 minutes it will get synced.
Mm-hmm.
Once you can configure your webhook. So let me configure webhook, so that will be a quicker one.
Yep.
So, I have already one webhook. I have to just edit it since my things has this guy has been changed, right? So I'm just changing this URL with this exact one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. You missed something. Yeah.
How are we going with the time, Chitra?
So I think as we started, late. Otherwise, we kind of pretty good. So I think almost we covered dot 1 hour. So we have started our streaming. So I think next let's say let's take next 10 minutes and wrap it up.
Okay, sure. So, guys, just one point is that if you have application XWW form encoded, this guy will not work, and this is the default one. So please make sure that you are checking the application JSON. And I'm just putting as a push event, so I don't want to do anything else. And you can enable the secret also. So I showed you maybe quickly. I will just show you that. Um, so so you see here, these are the secrets are there in the in Argo. So you have this repo one. So if you can try to enable it, it takes the string data, and you can enable some secret and update on your. But I'm not going for that. So yeah, you can update your secrets also using that. So I'm going pretty quick, but it's pretty easy. You can get in the Argo City website. So uh, awesome. So we have the webhooks now ready, right? And then
Yep.
let's do some changes. So I'm going to change uh, the name key in my config map with Swapna.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So the moment I am committing this guy, let me put it's a demo. So I'm just putting.
Yeah, so that means you are committing a config map. So
So
it stores on the config, so it
it will
checks.
happen. Uh, yeah, see, the moment is got synced.
Wow,
So you can see here, you
that is
can
a
see
sync.
the
Yeah.
now. Yeah, I'll show you. So it's bit time taking to load, but it's already synced. You can see that it's
Yeah, it is synced. I
Swapna
have seen
Pradhan.
that. I've seen that.
You have seen already here. So yeah, it's pretty fast. It's within a second it got synced, and it will tell you that okay, oh, what is the new configuration is there. Let it load. Let it load. So yeah, you see
Yeah.
Swapna Pradhan.
Oh.
So you saw within a fraction of second, whatever the git use happening is
Mm,
actually
mm.
it's doing that. Now let's take a
Excellent.
let me delete. Okay, guys, I'm deleting this pod so that it can take the new CM.
Mm.
However, you can achieve it in Kubernetes in multiple ways. I don't want to
Yeah.
go in that details. So there is a reloader is there, and then config hash is there, which can
Yeah.
actually change up in map actually
And
it update
even
your pod.
yeah,
How
even
do
you
we
can
deal?
yeah, even you can achieve this how exactly your deployment strategy looks like. You can go ahead recreate
Exactly. Yeah.
this.
This is
Yeah.
yeah. You are
So
right. So it's more dependent on your deployment specs rather than on Argo. So I just wanted to show you that the moment I deleted the pod, immediately my replica set is one. So immediately that pod came up. And then if I go to my window and just refresh it, I think come on. Uh, Maybe this is a ALB thing. Maybe I have to do the port forwarding. But
yeah,
yeah, you
yeah,
see,
yeah,
Sapna
yeah.
Pradhan came.
All
So
right.
fraction
Awesome.
of second you are able to change your
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Amazing. Good. Good.
so before we move ahead, any questions or anything that you guys have?
No, sort of. I don't think anyone is having any questions at the moment. So, at the moment, we are only 6 member, of which we are watching us and
Okay,
listening
no
to
problem.
us.
Yeah,
So, yep, I don't think we have any more questions over here. So, let's see.
okay. Okay, so that's the way we do it. And now let me do one thing. Now, as I told you, right, that Git is a being a single source of truth. So I'm going to roll back it. Okay, I'm going to roll back it to the previous revision where the country map was my name as a name Saurabh Kumar. So I have rolled it back. The moment I rolled it back, you see one thing, right? You'll see out of sync. So your application is rolled back. You have this GitHub's live manifest. Will have the name in Saurabh Kumar, but it's not in sync with the Git since Git has the other value. Let it load a bit. Let's wait for it.
Okay. So,
You see that it's
yeah,
got into Saurabh Kumar. So since this is
yeah,
guy is not in sync, so that's the actually the base being Git is a single source of truth. So the moment it's not in sync with the Git, it will show you the out of sync. And the moment you sync
yeah.
it,
So beautiful. So now, if I will take the problems, whatever we face, so feature branches, bug fix branches, develop branches, many other branches will be having. So I just committed one thing, and it is on the Git, and that one it is going to fetch, and it is going to reflect that one only. So that means the developer or the testers, whoever are the quality engineering, they can easily find out where exactly the problem. It's not like they have to build, they have to do or deploy. Okay, there is a problem, come back again. We are also here, one of the iteration we are also proceeding further, right?
exactly. So in fact, you can see the diff also here in the so you see you
Yeah,
can see the
yeah,
difference. So
yeah.
that's also is there. So you can see the design manifest something like Swapna Pradhan, but your live manifest is Saurabh Kumar, and this is the diff. So and the single source of truth is
Awesome.
this. So you can sync it and then it can go back.
Good,
So
good.
multiple more features, but I just wanted to take a pause. I think I have explained a lot. So I just wanted to take a pause and then maybe if guys have questions, we can encourage. Please, guys, ask some questions so that we can make it more interactive.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if you don't have any questions, share your pain points of your operations that you are facing now, so
Yep.
that in our next session we may take some of those pain points and try to see that how these cloud native solutions can address your pain points. So
Yep.
try to make it interactive. I think six, even six is a number, right? So six is a good number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please come up with some of the feedback, some of the pain points, or some of the questions so that we can make it more interactive.
Yeah, you got a very good point and valid point. No, it will make us to motivate us as well. The moment when we get the right feedback, and also the people whoever are watching us, if they ask, so it is also a motivation for us, so that we come forward and help the community more and more.
Yeah, let's wait for feedback. Swapna, you're on mute.
So looks like our audience a bit shy.
That's okay. That's okay.
So
Let's move ahead. I'll
that's okay.
take it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then yeah. Uh,
All right.
Most of
So
the things then it's a good time to wrap up, or do you want me to explain a bit more?
okay. So Rajaram has come up with one question. Will this help for large scale apps?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have as I told you, right? So one repo for all those environments and all those configurations you can maintain at maybe for your certain kind of application. Suppose like having if you have an e-commerce and you have a shipping or a payment, right? So you can, and you will must have some repos, right, and the projects. So you can, for each project you can have one kind of deploy specs, the repo that you already will have. Only thing is that how you are going to segregate it and then import. So if you are on Kubernetes, it's yes, yeah, Argo can maintain that. So it can take all the loads, and it's very very secure. You can secure it with your own SSO and kind of things. Build up those.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
the access
Excellent.
controls also. There are so many access controls also.
Excellent. All right. So I think I am not getting any more questions. So I think okay. So I think it's a wrap. So yeah, thank you, Saurav, for joining with me to have a fantastic session. Even I also got to know about the beautiful, the things whatever we are having, the benefits as well as the flexibleness, and also the beautiful screen, the tree structure, and the fast, how fast you are coming up to the deployment, because we are, every day it's becoming more and more hectic, and also people are also kind of seeing that how fast they can go ahead to the market. So definitely Argo is kind of help us large scale as well as small scale also. Whoever are the startups, they can go ahead and they can proceed with these things, because it's the UI and the flawlessness and the fastness, whatever you are doing. Definitely it is kind of large scale, that bar. So definitely Argo has raised its bar like anything, and thank you for that, and giving us or giving me a brief introduction as well as in-depth overview.
My pleasure, Swapna. Since we are talking a lot, but we never, I myself have never got a chance to being live even. So thanks for giving me that opportunity. And then
All
yeah,
right.
it's I think if we have a lot of questions, so we can
Yeah, so looks like we have a problem with Saurav's internet connection. So might be he might have no, there is some internet connectivity issues. So I think it's a wrap. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us. And till then, please do subscribe and like the content. Otherwise, YouTube will not come to know which content has been subscribing and also getting liked, so that we'll also come to know on their analytics and all. So thank you, and stay safe. Happy Diwali, and till then, next week or next moment, whenever we will come up with I will come up with one more sessions. Again, it would be in the Kubernetes or the Jenkins or our CI/CD or the Linux or whatever it would be. So till then, thank you very much, and stay safe. Subscribe. Thank you. Bye.